All right, guys. Well, welcome back. I am Dana Price. I'm going to be your host today, if you can call it that, or your facilitator. We have a special episode for you today as we're talking with all of our coaches, not just one presenter. So you're going to get feedback from our entire coaching staff on some of the technology that they use, whether they like it, they dislike it, some perks about it, things they like, things they don't like. As we transition more into a virtual space due to COVID the past 18 months. We've started seeing a trend in fitness that's going a bit more towards high-end technology to really assist in your fitness. So we're talking to our coaches today to see what they use, what they have used, and what's worked for them. But first, we always start off the show with some questions in the hot seat. So we're just going to do a round table for each coach today. The question is, we're going to have one question. We're going to go around the table. Beth, I'll start with you and just go across. What is your go-to protein source and why?
Lately salmon. It's just tasty. I've been cooking it on the stovetop, so salmon.
Nice. I'm going grass-fed beef. Why? I like the taste way better than chicken, and perform really well off red meat, actually. So that's where I'm going. Angie.
Lentils and chickpeas lately.
Why?
I'm trying to get creative with my protein sources. I don't know. I haven't eaten legumes in a while, so
there you go.
Getting into them.
Maida.
I probably have to say chicken breast. I do a lot with it. You can do lots of different things, whether it's tacos to chicken salads, and it's a good way to get it in. And one of the meats I'm comfortable cooking.
Nice. Matt Hands.
They'll take a steak any day of the week. It's Nature's multivitamin.
Very nice. Randy.
Probably eggs or black beans.
Why?
Just eggs are easy in the morning, and I like black beans, so I eat a lot of them.
Randy, are you still practicing being a vegetarian?
Yes, I am.
Nice. Kat.
I'm gonna go with chicken. Always love chicken, and lately I've been really loving the turkey burgers. So just like lettuce and turkey burgers. I've been hitting that a lot lately.
Love it. Andrew.
I've been doing a lot of ground turkey just because I can use it for it's kind of like my chicken substitute. Put it in all kinds of tacos or
question
and that sort of thing.
Do you use seasoning in it?
Oh yeah.
What type of seasoning? Because it is like if no one's ever ate ground turkey breast, it is bland. Like you need to season it. So what are you seasoning it with, Andrew?
If I'm gonna use it for a lot of like a handful of different meals, it's gonna just be like salt and maybe a little pepper. But I've got this like carne asado like taco seasoning. That's really good. And then some sort of salsas like salsa verde or like some habanero, pineapple salsa. Just put salsa all over it.
Very nice. Xavier, what's your go-to?
Equal part chicken and ground turkey, actually. We'll do chicken breast with just about anything. It's kind of like probably the default, but we do this low fat kind of stir fry that we do on a regular basis as well. That's what I have for lunch today.
Very good. A great substitute, guys, just a note that a lot of us use for soy sauce is we'll use aminos. So aminos taste a lot like soy. So if you have not used aminos, a lot of us around here use that for some flavor. So just a tip for you guys. Nicole.
I like the Orgain vegan protein powder because I'm not vegan, but I don't like to eat a lot of meat, and whey protein messes up my stomach. So it's an easy way to get 20 grams right in a shake.
Very good. Love it. Mark.
Right now, a lot more fish. Salmon is the big piece, and just doing a lot of salmon salads and things like that.
Do you cook any other fish besides salmon?
Keep me some tilapia, cod, things like that. But those are probably the main ones right now.
Do you mind telling us how you cook like a cod or tilapia? Because I love fish. I would eat a lot more of it, but the only thing I eat at home is salmon because I destroy every other fish I try to cook.
Yeah, so like it was just basically random for me. I'll fry it for like 4 minutes on each side. And sometimes I'll either eat, and if I don't want to do that, I'll put it in the air fryer for about 20 or so minutes and just kind of cook it that way, season it up, and then just have at it after that.
So I've heard and noticed air fryers are a saving grace. Would you say that's a fact?
100%, because you can cook anything in it, and it doesn't have, you can go from frozen to the table in a matter of minutes. And you can, obviously, if you have it prepared, you can season it, put it in, and you cut down on all the oils that you'll use.
Nice. Last but certainly not least, Jordan, go-to protein source.
Right now, mine's egg whites and Orgain protein. I'll occasionally indulge in some grass-fed beef once or twice a week, but I'm trying to go more plant-based with it.
Very nice. Love it. So for our audience, those are a variety of different options for protein sources. You can see from our coaching staff, we have individuals that are pescatarian, individuals that are vegan, vegetarian, meat lovers, all of it. So you definitely got your take on what types of protein is out there for you to indulge in. So, but without further ado, let's get to our topic today. So we are talking fitness apps, what the experts are using. So I'm just going to kind of go round table here and talk to each one of you about what are you using? Have you ever used it? What have you read about? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Nothing's off the table. I'm going to start with Xavion. Xavion, what apps do you like or dislike, and what do you have to say about them?
Yeah, I don't know if I have a hard and fast dislike. For me, it's just, use what works for you. I say the simplest thing I use is, my timer app. I've went through a bunch of them, and I just try to pick the one that works most convenient for me. But I'd say, like, as far as what I use on a daily basis with a lot of intention is I have a Whoop band. So it's like wearable tech. It measures a lot of different things. Heart rate variability is their primary metric. So heart rate variability being like the difference between the timings of your heartbeat. And it's a way to measure basically recovery by assessing like aspects of imbalances like within your nervous system. All that, I really like it for my sleep. That's probably the big thing that I watch is like the quality of my sleep. Find it challenging to get 8 hours every single day. So what I've really been paying attention to is my REM sleep and deep sleep, and kind of watching that over time and what habits improves that.
So for our listeners, who would you say is like the right fit for a Whoop band? It's something that's becoming very popular. If you haven't heard about it, you will. It's getting more mainstream. It was for like the really high end exerciser, but who would you say could benefit from a Whoop band if they're interested?
For sure. I've talked with a lot of folks on the coach team here about this, but I think the person who benefits the most are heavy aerobic cardio type people. So runners especially, anybody who has like an aerobic endurance event, I think they're going to stand to gain the most. Myself, like I prefer weights and barbells and things of that nature. I do my cardio, but mostly weights. There's some aspects of it that I use a little bit less. I think everyone can benefit in general if it's something you're wanting to put the expenses towards. It is, a subscription and whatnot. Because I do think it's wise to check in with yourself on a daily basis, assess how you're feeling, compare the numbers that you get from the app to how you actually feel. I think that's really important with anybody that tracks anything, is that the numbers don't tell all. It's just a guiding rod and a point of reference, I think.
I love that. Love that. Thanks, Xavion. Beth, we're going to go to you. What do you like? What have you used? What don't you like? Anything, nothing's off the table.
Well, I know Xavier and I have talked earlier about the specific timer that we use. So we like the WOD timer. So it
WOD
does
timer.
different intervals. It does like the EMOM intervals, AMRAPs, Tabata, and you can adjust it so it can do different intervals if you're on a Tabata setting. You can make your own intervals. So I love it. It takes a lot of the process out of that. It has the beeping noise, so you like know when, you know, when your time's up, so you can just set the timer, set your phone aside and go. I like that. It has a countdown. I like my Garmin watch. So my Garmin and the app that comes with it, it has a lot to do with like sleep again, your activity, obviously, and then it tracks like any other kind of activity, so running or any other kind of activity that you log. For ladies, it even tracks your cycle. It connects to your health app. So it does a lot of different things, which is really helpful for me, especially like I have like a love-hate relationship with apps. I try to not spend too much time in the technology world.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to kind of be able to just like check in on it every once in a while and kind of like look at the past few weeks and then just like, okay, set it aside and then look at it again in a couple weeks or something. So I like that aspect. And then the Garmin app and watch automatically sync to Strava. And that's fun for me to be able to follow friends and other runners and stuff on Strava. So Strava is a huge one that I use. I like to plan routes and see my, times and see if there's anything that's getting faster or how other people are doing. So yeah,
Awesome.
the main ones for me.
And I'm going to give us a little plug here. If you're not following us on Strava, follow Well at Humana Run Club. Bethany is our running expert. She does all the programming on there. She is a marathon runner, was a collegiate runner. It's just fun to interact with that community, and that community is forever growing. So if you haven't hopped on there, I would suggest you do so. I'm just going to piggyback off Beth, and I'll go on mine. I'll be honest with you, I don't use a ton of apps anymore. It's not something that I was an individual that was extremely structured for majority of my training life. So I've been training since I was 16. Everything was incredibly structured, and I'm to the point now where that's more of a detriment to me than a plus. So I had to analyze where I was at, but something that I loved for the longest time that I used for my nutrition, I used MyFitnessPal probably for 8+ years. Then I liked My Macros Plus a little bit better. That is an app that it's like $2 a month or something, but it allowed me to see a little bit more. I used that for probably 3 years, and now like I pretty much don't need any of that because I know what I'm intaking and I'm not tracking as closely. However, if you're in a season of your life where you need accountability and you want to be very precise in what you're doing, these are great tools to help with that. It's just something that I don't utilize that much anymore. But something I do love is I'm basically wear my Fitbit just for coaching purposes, for like timing and stuff. But I do think I find it very interesting to understand where your resting heart rate is. A lot of people don't know where they rest and things like that. So for me, it's helpful to understand where my resting heart rate is. And then when I'm doing conditioning workouts and things like that, where I'm getting in my heart rate. So how much effort I'm exerting. I do like to see that, and it doesn't get me all jumbled with numbers or anything like that, but it gives me a indicator of where I'm at in rest and then how much exertion I'm giving when I'm training. So that's my 2 cents. Angie, what do you got for us?
I have two. I've been on and off with my Fitbit lately. I don't know why I have. I love it. I love my Fitbit, but sometimes I try to work out without it to see what I actually feel rather than like number wise, right?
Mhm.
Like sometimes we guide ourselves by the number rather than what you're feeling in your body. So I've been on and off with that one, but the one I use the most is actually Headspace. It's a meditating app. But you can add friends on there, which is really cool. And you can like ping them. If you see like they haven't been meditating, you can like ping them on there and send them love. So it's always important to have a right mindset with anything in life. So meditating, Headspace is mine.
Can you tell us a little bit briefly, because I got to get through all the coaches, but briefly, I'm interested in that myself. And I feel like a lot of our users will be, because meditation always gets this kind of backlash of like, oh, I can't meditate. I'm too active a person. I can't get in that headspace. So, and no pun intended, that's the name of the app. But can you tell us a little bit about what it is and what actually you do on it?
Definitely. There's any type of length and any type of meditation. So there's packages. So you can do like a sequence. Let's just say there's one for self-esteem that's like 10 sessions. So the first session talks about something, and then there's 10 sessions within that package, which is really cool. So you can like see your progress throughout. There's also 5-minute ones, there's 40-minute ones. So it just depends on what you want. There's also a really good section within the app that's specific for sleep. So you could have like white noise for sleep. You can have a guided meditation for sleep. There's a lot of different things you can do within the app. And then, like I said, you can have friends on there. So you can like kind of ping your friends when you see that they're not meditating often. So it's just either different packages with a lot of sessions, or individual sessions, or whenever you need one. There's also a really cool section on there that's for kids. So meditating with kids is on there too, which I think is cool.
That's awesome. I love that. And I think for our listeners, a trend that you're seeing amongst fitness experts is we are very adamant about our sleep. It is something that every single one of us, I think, have mentioned. If you've heard me talk for 2 seconds, you know how important sleep is. But keep that in mind when you're looking for apps and things like that, is to start get an idea of like how much you're actually sleeping, and are you getting quality sleep, and then how you feel based on that sleep. So transitioning on, Maida, what do you got for us?
Yeah, kind of going off with Beth. I've been using the Garmin app for all through high school running and college running. Definitely love how you can not only track running, but you can track biking, walking, strength training, pretty much anything you want as well. Definitely the heart rates, along with sleep, and also even like your stress levels, it tracks that as well. So that's been really something I've been watching lately a lot. I'm really into the Calm app, just another one of those meditation apps. Kind of like what Angie was saying, it does sessions, and they can be 5 minutes to 30 minutes, kind of based off of your time frame and all that. And I really enjoy that. And I also use Fujicate once in a while. That's the app where you take it and you can scan barcodes, and it kind of gives you a letter grade of how healthy the food is, or how, I guess not even how healthy it is, but how good it is for your body. And then it gives you the ingredients and everything along those lines. So when you're trying to make some healthier choices at the grocery store, it kind of guides you, which is kind of cool.
I love that. I've never heard of it, honestly. Maida, can you drop that in the chat for our audience? And also what we're hearing, and you guys probably know this, is Garmin. If you're an endurance runner, and have read anything about best watches to get, if you're an endurance person, I would say, Beth, Maida, correct me if I'm wrong here, but Garmin is the way to go. It is built for that.
Mm-hmm.
Am I on the right track there?
Oh yeah, and they even are very big for like triathletes too, swimming and all that. You can really do a lot with those. Definitely.
Love it. All right, let's transition. Kat, where you at? What do you got for us?
So I'm not really big on apps, but lately I have been using one. Ever since COVID started and gyms shut down, I've been a CrossFitter for the past 11 years. So once they closed our gym, everyone was just going nuts. So with the equipment that I have at home, I figured I'd get an app that, I can work out at home and generate my own workouts. So this app just makes it easier for me. You pick the equipment that you have at home. So whether you have kettlebells or dumbbells or whatever you feel like using that day, it'll generate a workout for you. So if you want to do just a kettlebell workout, it has it. If you want to do just a barbell workout, it has it. You can log your workouts. They have EMOMs, every minute on the minute. They have Tabatas. They've got chipper workouts. They've got like over 5,000, WODs that you can pick from and modify yourself. So I was leaning towards that a lot during this whole COVID time, because I'm not too much of a runner either.
Yeah.
So I want to stay and lift. So it was probably the best app for me to use. It's called SmartWad.
SmartWad. Can you drop that in the
Yeah.
chat for us? Thank you, Kat. Nicole, you're up. What do you
Um,
got?
The All Trails app. It is an app where you can use it for walking, but trails, so hiking. So if you like to hike or if you want new loops to walk around, then it'll look for your location and find areas. And moving from San Diego, I've loved it because I've discovered, like what you told me, Jefferson Memorial Forest, and you can record where you're at. So if you get lost, I mean, it's kind of hard to get lost because you can see the route of the trail that you're at. And it also gives you directions to the trailhead because sometimes when you Google something on Apple Maps, it takes you to a weird location when the trail is like, 10 minutes away. So the All Trails app is really good for hiking. And I think they even added biking on there. But if you want to just walk outside, that's the best way to go.
I love that. So basically I need to do that so I do not get lost in Jefferson Memorial Forest, even though I've lived here all my life. And I still get lost hiking that. So I will be downloading that. That's a good find. Thanks for sharing. Mark, what do you got for us?
All right. So the main one I use is Samsung Health just because I have an Android, and basically I can track all of my metrics from my steps to my active calories burned, sleep, food I intake, if I decide to track my glucose, all that stuff, basically all my health information in one spot. So it's an easy way to keep everything tracked. If I'm looking at apps outside of that I have downloaded on my phone, I have one called Trainer Pro. It's a timer. Basically, I can set any kind of timer that I want, whether with any intervals, whether I'm doing box on the heavy bag or I'm doing some type of Tabata. So that makes life simple. It has your different times that can kind of let you know when to start and stop. And then also, what else is on here? 1 rep max. Basically, you use that if you are trying to go for your PRs and all that stuff, or you're trying to set your workouts for whatever block you're trying to do. You can do your 1 rep max and find out if your max is, if you bench 275 5 times, you can find out what your one rep max was from there. And then obviously go on, so on and so forth. Basically, you pick the lift, you put your numbers in, find your max, and then you kind of build your workouts around that. But those are the main ones I'm using right now.
Love it. So do you feel like Samsung Health is pretty much the equivalent of Apple's new health app?
I haven't seen it, but I've seen some. Well, one of my clients sent me a picture. So yeah, so like Apple has the rings with the circles, Samsung has hearts. So it's essentially very similar. So I think very much so they're in the same line, the same vein of things. And if you have Samsung or if you have Apple Fitness, I think you should be using both because it gives you so many baselines and it gives you so much data to where when I was doing a lot of air bike training, probably about a month ago, I was using it to kind of track my heart rate. So I got to the point to where I could tell where I was at on intensity to where, okay, this feels like I'm at about a 130 heart rate or I'm about a 150. So seeing that data and it kind of helped me get a better understanding of like how hard I'm working in the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And like now you can feel it, right? Because it's giving you the numbers. Now you can feel it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jordan, what you got for us?
Well, I personally don't use a lot of apps at all, or none at all. I'm very intuitive with it. We sit behind a computer a lot all day. We're typically watching Netflix at night. I think it's important to get some exercise and kind of decompress, de-stress from the technology and the cell phone. So I have a little bit of a different approach than most coaches have. I typically don't like apps, but All Trails is one of my favorites. I love that Nicole brought that up. It's amazing just to discover new things to go out and adventure in and hike in.
Awesome. Randy, do you use any apps and what are you using?
So not with like my everyday training, I don't, but LifeSum is like a food app, nutrition tracking app, and it kind of does the same thing that I think Mato was talking about. It gives you a grade if you scan your food. So I use this when because I was trying to put on weight, or I guess I'm still trying to put on weight, and I don't do a great job of like calorie intake. So I started using that to help me. And then I also use Insight Timer because it's also like another meditation app. It has a bunch of different things on there, like guided, or maybe if you just want like music to meditate to, or it has one for like parents. It's got a lot of stuff on there, a lot of guided and just like sleep type things. But I'm also interested in Calm because I've heard really good things about that one too.
No, I think definitely I'm gonna have to look into Headspace and Calm and things like that and start doing some meditation. Or Beth, we can just do some interpretive dancing. That works too. So we have 2 left. Andrew, you're up. What you got for us?
Yeah, so much like Mark, I actually use my health app. I got the iPhone, so the few things that I use are they have a sleep timer function. I think that's built into the health app side of it, to where the alarm doesn't just kind of like scream at you. It kind of slowly, eases you awake. So I like that one a lot. But then the other side of that is the steps. My wife and I, especially at the beginning of the pandemic, it just became a competition that we've carried on, and we're always kind of comparing steps. And then besides just the basic health app, I mean, for me, Spotify, like I get on there and make playlists. Like, I think music's underrated, and that sometimes it can be overrated, because I know people who will skip the gym if they don't have their headphones. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. So, but definitely like music when I'm getting into it.
Love that. And I love that you brought up steps. Like it's still something so simple, but it's something that is so important. And I think we've all seen during the pandemic, like my steps have gone down drastically. I know all of our coaches have. I was just talking to my mom last night. I used to get 20,000 steps a day. I'm lucky if I hit 10 now. So that's half of it. And it's an accountability piece. It's something that like you don't have to have all the time, but when you look down and you're like, I have 3,000 steps and it's 2:30 and I've been sitting in this chair all day, like I need to do something about it. So I completely agree that it's a motivational piece, and I love that. Matt, hands, close us out, bring the thunder, bring us something we don't know about. What do you got?
Well, I've probably used everything you could think of: Fitbit, Polar heart rate monitors. I've really been stuck on my Apple Watch for the most part of the last 3-4 years, from everything from exercise, sleep, whatever, heart rate variability. However, what I've been keeping my eye on for the last couple years, say 2-3 years, is the Oura Ring. And you might have saw a lot of that recently with the NBA coming out and talking about how a lot of the guys were wearing them in their quarantine or whatever. But what the Oura Ring is essentially a lot like the Whoop strap that Xavier was talking about, except for instead of a strap, it's on your wrist. You just wear it like a ring. And so what that does is that's going to monitor heart rate variability. It monitors your oxygen saturation, your blood temp, like your body temp, and all this stuff. So it gives you a lot of really good sleep metrics, and or daily strain. It's kind of like strain with the Whoop, but it'll give you like a daily score. And so each day you can kind of track these scores on how you feel. Because for me, it's all about how I can optimize the way my body feels. So that's why I like the Oura Ring so much. It gives you a ton of data, a ton of things to look at. And then, like Xavier said, it's not necessarily, the score doesn't always match how you feel. So it's good to kind of test those theories to each other.
Love that. Guys, this was, I feel like one of our better episodes, because there was such valuable information and such variety amongst our coaches. So I feel like closing out, it's, we don't have to have apps. We can certainly get outside, do our thing. If it's not for you, if you don't need to see the numbers, if the numbers stress you out a little bit more, maybe you don't need to see them. But if you do want to take a deeper dive into what your body is showing you and how you're performing, or just informational apps like All Trails, what a great app. Or something you may struggle with is stress. Then some things that you can look at are Headspace or Calm, or if you're an avid exerciser and want an immense amount of data, you have the Whoop strap, the Oura Ring, then you have 2 things that are on like Apple Health, Samsung Health, things like that. You're looking for workouts, you have SmartWOD, you have our Instagram page, and other things, but these are all available to you guys. If you have any questions, drop us a note on Instagram, drop us a note on Yammer. We'd be happy to answer. And thank you guys for joining today. On October 5th, we will have Priming the Body, the value of a warm-up and cool down. So Coach Dakota will be presenting, I'll be facilitating. So hope to see you guys there, and have a great rest of your day. See ya.